Bobert, say it 3 times as she appears in security video from a weekend performance of Beetlejuice, with a congresswoman who was kicked out of the theater for being disruptive. The DCPA says she was vaping. Bobert's team denied that, said the haze was from fog machines in the show. That claim goes up in smoke when you see the video. The pregnant woman sitting behind Bobert told the Denver Post she asked her to stop vaping, and Bobert refused. Her one-woman show continued, taking flash photos, raising her hands and dancing, often the only one clapping or standing up in the crowd. Bobert occasionally took a break from being disruptive to enjoy the company of her male companion. He briefly had a grasp on the situation, before ushers returned, and told Bobert she had to leave. The theater's instant report says Bobert pulled the "Don't you know who I am" card on the way out, appearing to give theater employees the single-finger salute. I want to point out that the most egregious thing to happen on Thursday was not the cross-examination of Michael Cohen, but this tweet sent out by Matt Gaetz that makes a vague threat to the people in the court. Representative Matt Gaetz of Florida shared a photo of himself standing outside the courtroom earlier on X, saying he was standing back and standing by. And here's a picture of the tweet he sent where he said "standing back and standing by," echoing the exact words used by Donald Trump towards the Proud Boys in the 2020 presidential debates. And I don't even know what this vague threat means. What are you standing by for, Matt Gaetz? Are you gonna bum rush the judge if things aren't going Donald Trump's way? It doesn't make sense whatsoever. But this article continues, it was clearly a reference to when Trump told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by during one of the presidential debates against Biden in 2020. The comment by Trump was widely criticized as being seen as encouraging the group, which ultimately participated in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. But this appearance backfired for both Trump and the MAGA allies he invited, and then turned into a bloodbath on the House floor later that night. And I'll get to that, but first, I just want to point out that as all of the MAGA sycophants were standing outside the courthouse talking to the media, people were chanting Bobert. People were trying to get Lauren Bobert to sign a Beetlejuice pamphlet. People were holding signs behind the group that said "Boo Lickers," referring to them all licking the boot of Donald Trump. And then as Lauren Bobert began to speak, all of her MAGA allies walked away from her in real time. And Lauren Bobert tried to put her own spin on this by saying,
and I want all of the news to start asking the question, what is the crime? Because everyone in this court has not been informed of what the crime is. The defendant does not know the crime that was committed.
I'll never stop standing up for President Trump, even if I'm the last one standing.
But come on, Lauren, you know that's not what happened. They walked away because they all find you and people like Marjorie Taylor Greene to be absolutely insufferable. Body's bleach blonde, bad-built butch body.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold
on. Listen.
So of course this already unnecessary meeting was derailed by Marjorie Taylor Greene, who wanted to talk about another unnecessary topic, Judge Merchan's daughter. AOC started firing back and defending Jasmine Crockett, and then Marjorie Taylor Greene asked AOC to debate her, and AOC strikes back with the zinger. Play this clip.
Why don't you debate me?
Mr. Chairman, the minority
self-evident.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not. You don't have enough intelligence.
So after AOC said, "It's pretty evident why I don't debate you, Marjorie," Marjorie decided to respond by saying, "It's because you're not intelligent enough." This is beyond parody coming from Marjorie Taylor Greene. Jasmine Crockett then decided to fire back with another shot.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling, if someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad-built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
What now?
If you didn't catch that, Crockett said that Marjorie has a bleach blonde, bad-built butch body. That's
body's bleach blonde, bad-built butch body. Body's bleach blonde, bad-built butch body. Body's bleach blonde, bad-built butch body.
Chaos erupted again with a member instructing Crockett to calm down. "I have 2 hearing aids. I'm very deaf," the committee's chairman, James Comer, said after crosstalk took over. Come on, Comer, you know what they were saying. "I'm not understanding. Everybody's yelling. I'm doing the best I can." After Comer agreed to strike Greene's insults of AOC, Democrats sought to enforce committee rules that would have prevented Greene from speaking for the rest of the hearing. Republicans voted to allow her to speak, but I think the funniest part about this is Lauren Bobert was on the right side of history for the first time in her life. Jamie Dupree on Twitter said the House Oversight Committee is voting on whether to allow Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene to speak. He then said about 30 minutes later, Boebert voted no. Boebert voted against letting Marjorie Taylor Greene speak even further. The article continues. Comer ultimately called for a short recess amid debate over questions about a rule for members who have had comments struck from the record but wish to speak. Upon return, he reminded members to observe the House's standard of decorum. I don't even know if the standard of decorum exists anymore. Our politicians are so far gone, but Greene was ultimately recognized to speak for more than 4 minutes, during which she reiterated that she would not apologize. I will not apologize for my words. I will not change them, she said, but she probably said it sounding a little bit more drunk. Nearly an hour after the hearing was derailed, the committee got back to debating whether Garland should be held in contempt of Congress for refusing to hand over audio recordings of President Joe Biden's interview with Special Counsel Robert Hur over his handling of classified documents. And remember, Republicans claimed that the Hur report, the one I just mentioned, was the silver bullet. They claimed that not only does it prove that President Biden was guilty, but that he also has dementia. But if you actually read the report, it says in 100 different ways that the mens rea did not exist. The intention to commit a crime did not exist. President Biden was not in the state of mind of committing a crime, therefore he was innocent. It says that in literally 100 different ways throughout the report. But Republicans conveniently forgot that in the same way that Robert Hur told President Biden during their conversation that he has a nearly photographic memory, but then conveniently left that out of the report and only talked about President Biden's slight lapses of memory. Robert Hur even told President Biden right when they sat down for the first time that he's going to be asking a lot of questions that span over many years, and it's okay if you don't remember them all. So for him to turn around and use President Biden's slight lapses of memory as a gotcha, as a hit piece, is just disgusting. But the article continues. Tensions were already running high after a long day, with Republicans peppering Raskin's opening remarks with interruptions. The meeting had originally been scheduled for 11 a.m., but it was moved to 8 p.m. after several committee members traveled to New York to attend the trial of former President Donald Trump, as we discussed earlier. The committee voted 24-20 along party lines to recommend holding Garland in contempt. Following the contentious meeting, House Speaker Mike Johnson's office has not yet said when it would put the contempt resolution before the full House.
Veronica, you look like hell.
Yeah, I just got back.